Good morning, people, or afternoon as it is over here in the Netherlands. Hope
Yeah,
you're all well.
Morning here as well. Yeah,
How are you, Kev?
not too bad, mate. Yeah, not too bad at all.
Good stuff.
Yeah, always good when Spurs win.
Yeah, absolutely.
It completes the weekend.
Yeah. So, if anybody's watching, please like and subscribe and hit the bell thingy. That'll let you know when we're on, but usually it's around about this time. And as Kev said, he hates these early mornings on a Sunday, but you got to hear his voice.
Yeah.
Right, so let's start with yesterday in the FA Cup, my favourite cup competition in the whole world.
Oh, yeah.
Preston North End versus Spurs.
Yeah.
The guys who we nicked the idea for our white shirts off.
Apparently, so the commentator said yesterday.
Yeah. I don't remember exactly when it was. I don't think I was born then. And
1900. You definitely weren't born then. Even I wasn't born then. Yeah.
So let's have a look at the lineup. Forster in goal, Tanganga, Sanchez, Longley, Doherty, Bentancur, Bissouma, Sessegnon, Kulusevski, Perisic, and Son. So again, pretty much always in control.
Yeah.
First half was a little bit slow. What were your thoughts?
Well, I was surprised not to see Kane in, but then I read elsewhere that he's been suffering with a bit of flu sickness or whatever, and he had it last week, and they could afford to rest him, so that's fair enough.
Yeah.
With Kane, he always plays himself in, doesn't he? If he wants to play, he plays. So
yes,
maybe they just took sound advice and let him rest. But if they're going to make him rest, don't make him do the journey. Should have left him at home.
Yeah. That was an interesting thing I saw. I remember reading, was it last week or the week before, about people having a pop at Nottingham Forest for flying to, was it Newcastle or somewhere like that?
All right.
Well, we flew up into Blackpool on Friday night, I think it was. Right. Yeah, I mean, with coaches these days, you can get some proper luxurious ones.
You can, yeah.
Don't you think it'd be a little bit better for the environment? Anyway, I'm not going to go into that, but...
Arsenal's done that, went to Norwich, didn't they? They flew to Norwich.
Oh, really?
From Luton.
From Luton?
It's a 10-minute flipping flight, Yeah, honestly. They left the ground at London Coney.
Yeah.
To Luton, which is up the road, up the M1, and then to Norwich. But I think the time they got up in the air, they come down again,
Yeah.
So
you don't even get time for a beer or a cup of coffee, do you?
No duty free, nothing, no.
Bottle of Pernod, yeah, why not? So,
but yeah, I mean the game. They were always in control.
Yeah.
From the off.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only sort of decent player that Preston North End had, I thought, was Brady, and he's on a downer. He's an Irish international. Obviously, he was very high up in the 2016 tournament. He scored a lot of goals, but he was a bit dirty as well. He was an experienced player, but he was very dirty, putting a few nasty tackles. Kind of giving it large against the big boys,
Yeah.
Looking to get noticed.
I thought Ched Evans showed a little bit of skill when who did he nutmeg? Was it Bentancur?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I can't remember that. Yeah.
But I was actually quite surprised at how, that is mostly a second team for us.
Yeah.
And you expect FA Cup under the lights that it would have been a bit trickier, but they just didn't seem to. They couldn't get it together. We completely controlled them, pressed them well, and overall it was a pretty pleasing performance. First half, as I mentioned earlier, I did fall asleep for 10 minutes. I find it quite difficult to get used to this slow start to the game, passing it sideways, etc. It's like we got Stefan Freund back.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Foster, I mean, I don't think he did anything at all in the first half, but what he did have to do in the second half, he done it really well.
Yeah.
I thought.
Yeah.
Confidence,
Yeah, with Hugo, his last performance, it's a bit of a catch-22. As long as he's, who knows what's happening? We don't know what's happening in his personal life. We don't know what's happening here, there, and everywhere. He's getting on a bit. Maybe he wants to go back to France. He's been getting quite a lot of flack as well, which I would say, is pretty deserved when you throw the amount in the net or cock up the amount of things that he's done this season. you've got to expect to get a little bit of flack. But okay, so we have another guest coming in. I'd like to welcome the one and only, the legend, the Stockton Stealer.
Simon.
How are we doing, gents?
That's better. I've just changed my glasses. I had my working glasses on now. They're all scratchy, and I've got my proper glasses on now. That's right.
No,
I can see you now.
It's not gents. I know it's spelt with a J. It's actually Jens. But anyway, sorry.
It's Y, isn't it? Why?
I said gents as in gentlemen.
I know. That was part of the joke.
Sorry.
Taxi. Sorry.
Get your coat.
So we were just talking about the first half of the Preston game. First of all, how are you? Happy Sunday. Yeah.
Absolutely buzzing after yesterday's. And I watched quite a lot of the games actually, and it's a really good day for football all round. You know, it's classic FA Cup day. And
I watched the Fulham game. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, well, I listened to it. But that was you got to love the FA Cup. It's a shame about Accrington, shame about Boreham Wood as well. But yeah, what can you say? So, is Sonny back, or is this just the full storm like the Leicester game? Simon, discuss, mate.
Well, I think he's coming back. I think he's getting his confidence back. You know, it's a case of I know before when he scored a hat-trick against Leicester, it was more of a rush, you know, bang, I'm back kind of thing. But I think this is more of a gradual thing. I think it's more of I'm getting my confidence back. He said as much as in the interview after, you know, it's very important for my confidence to score today, and to get twos even better. And I think that's what it is. He's getting confidence back slowly but surely. I don't think he'll obviously get as many goals as last season, but you know, I think it's a good thing to keep having faith in him, and just be rest assured that he's coming back. You know.
Interesting to see he had a roaming role, didn't he? He was on the left, he was on the middle, up the middle a lot, and then he was on the right. You know, they couldn't pin him down really. He was all over the place, which is good to see.
Yeah. Well, I think it was an interesting thing. Again, he's playing Perisic higher up the field. Sonny was meant to be centre forward, but it's as you said, he was all over the place. But that was the Sonny that we know and love, isn't it? You know, he reminds me a little bit of Ericsson in, I can't remember. I think it was probably his second or third season, that when Ericsson got that ball on the edge of the box and he ran along, and you knew he was going to curl one into the top corner, and that's what we expect from Sonny. He hasn't been doing that recently. And so that was a bit worrying. But yesterday, okay, wasn't the best opposition. But you got to start somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to think he'd come back. He's definitely been kept faith with by, I was going to say Pochettino there, Conte. And yeah, hopefully Conte will be rewarded for that.
What do you think of those shots when he was sitting in the stands after he was pulled? I mean, did he look wrecked, or was he shook, or was he? I don't know. Was he angry? I don't think he was angry being pulled off on a hat trick. You know, I mean, but he looked exhausted to me.
Well, you know, getting pulled off at football is great. We just used to get oranges at halftime.
Yeah. Wait, this is a family show.
Sorry.
My missus is in the kitchen making a Sunday roast. So yeah, you heard that.
We've found our level. We've found our level.
Yeah, it was just over 10 minutes, so you know we're right. Debut goal for Danny.
Yeah.
What did you think when he came on?
He looks the part. He looks strong. Looks wise. I mean, what more do you want?
Yeah.
I don't think. Go on. Sorry, Ken.
No, sorry, Simon. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think we can take anything away from it. It's you've got to expect that he's going. Any new signing is going to come on really enthusiastic, put themselves about a bit, and try and score. Because that's the ideal thing for any debutante. Looks looks capable, and I didn't realise how tall he was. He's quite tall, so that's quite a good thing. He looks like he's got a bit of muscle on him as well. So
I noticed his thighs. Yeah.
He's not going to be, knocked off the ball when he's running with it. Yeah. Because I presume he's going to be, in that kind of Kulusevski kind of Son kind of area of, turning midfield into chances.
Yeah.
I presume that's what he's for. Like I said before, I think he's been bought for the Champions League essentially, because he's a proven goal scorer in the Champions League. And I think looking at all his attributes, I think that's going to be a good shout, I think.
Might have to have a rethink on that goal celebration now. I'm not sure about that. I don't know what it was. Was it a snake or something he was doing? I don't know what he was doing.
He just walked off and then sort of got hugged. I didn't see the.
Wasn't it the cockerel?
I don't know, he was doing something. I don't know what it was.
Walking like an Egyptian.
Yeah,
the bangles.
Something like that. Yeah, I don't know. Weird.
Yeah, well, I have to say I was quite impressed. He seems to have a little bit of the Robbie Keane's about him, throwing his hands around a lot, which I think is I think that's good. If people used to say, "Oh, what's Robbie Keane throwing his hands about for?" It's because he wanted the ball. It's because he wanted to, he wants to get in goal scoring positions.
Yeah.
And to have passion like that, that's something that's extremely important, I think. As Simon said, I don't think we can read an awful lot into it just yet. Going back to the Sonny thing, I think I would be a little bit upset being substituted on a hat-trick. But, well, yeah, I mean, we've got, 8 days until City? So he has time to rest unless, as you say, he was completely knackered.
Yeah.
But yes.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it is a tired thing. And I think there's a few of the players. Let's not forget again, like I said before, we had more players than any other Premier League team in the World Cup, and they've come back quite a bit knackered, really, and hit the ground running. So I mean, I don't want to use that as an excuse because at the end of the day, they're professional athletes. So it's like you say, it is good to have that kind of lengthy period. Well, I suppose a lengthy period compared to most weeks. Before a tough game. It can only help, can't it, really?
Yeah. So who would you say was man of the match?
For me, I'd go for Sonny because he took it by the scruff. He laid the intent down and went for it. He had to step up. He knew he had to step up because he was the focus of everything there yesterday. Yeah. And he grabbed his chances and took them, and that was the end result.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We got him back. Hopefully.
Yes. Yeah, that'd be really nice, wouldn't it? And Simon.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Sonny, when you forget, like in the first half. And obviously, most previous games, he's been doing that thing of running around a lot, chasing the ball, not getting it, and then when he gets it, turning and trying to run with it and getting knocked off the ball straight away and turning over possession. And he was doing that in first half. And what he's done as the game's gone on, he's added a word with himself, looked at himself, and grown past that, gone through this kind of barrier of. Woe is me, I'm knackered, or whatever the reason is, lack of confidence. And he's pushed through that, and he's thought, do you know what? Shall I just do what I'm good at? And he's looked up, seen the goal. Doesn't matter what foot it is, does it left, right? I mean, third leg, whatever. He's
oh come on, he's not lived for Christie.
and he's thought, I'm just going to score, and that's what he's done. And he's done the same with the second goal as well. And he's like, you can see it in his body language and his face with those goals. As soon as he got the ball, nobody's getting that ball off him. Nobody's getting in his way. Nobody's going to stop him scoring. And man of the match, yeah, absolutely. But man of the season for that, I think, when it's so rare to see players do that when they're off form. Turning around and push through it. in a short space of time. I mean, I know it's against Preston and everything, but I look at those goals and I think doesn't matter who we were playing, really, he would have scored.
Yeah. No, that's very true. And Sessegnon.
Right. Did you freaking see this useless turd? Right, he did exactly what he does like every single game, didn't he? Like, oh look, I'm running down the ring in a straight line. Here's the ball I'm going to play. Oh look, Preston have got the ball. Every single time, even like tackling and stuff. Like, I think once I saw him lose possession, come back and try and get it back, and they I don't think they even knew he was there. They just shoved him off the ball like he wasn't even there.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
There was a great camera shot where he'd done it yet again and tried to play a cross in, and it was just absolutely useless. And there's a great camera shot of him walking back, and he's like, look up to the heavens, like, oh, fuck my life. Like, it's a negative influence on the team, both in terms of how he plays and his attitude and everything. I just don't want to. Do you know what? I'm sorry I was late, by the way. I missed like the chat about the starting lineup, but I looked at half of that lineup that started, and I thought, I don't want to see that at least 5 of those players in a Spurs shirt again.
So who's the 5 then?
Right. So Cess, obviously.
Yeah.
Sanchez.
Our captain yesterday, Sanchez.
Yeah, absolutely. How does he make captain? Tanganga, no, Tanganga's had his time as well.
He's gone, yeah.
Longley is just, he's mediocre at best. I mean,
he's a loan option, though, isn't he, Longley? Yeah.
Yeah, with no option to buy, apparently.
Yeah.
Well, I think
and Dyer can do one. Do you know what I mean? Like Ben Davies, I think he's got merit in there. He still puts in a good performance. He delivers a good ball. Like Tanganga's just, he started off well, but he's just not quite good enough. And I looked at Cess yesterday and I thought it'd be if you had this hypothetical situation where the Preston manager Rob Lowe, if you offered him the team sheet and said, go through each player, which players in our starting lineup would you have? You can have one. It wouldn't even pick Cess.
Yeah.
It wouldn't even pick Sessegnon. I don't think he's even good enough for the Championship.
Well, that does seem to be the problem, isn't it? We've discussed it before. He's massive amounts of ability when he was a lot younger. I know that he's had some mental problems, but he just hasn't pushed on. In regards to players I wouldn't like to see in the Spurs shirt, I don't think there's any of them in that lineup that I wouldn't take as backup, but they shouldn't be first teamers. And as we've seen, Sessegnon is a first teamer. He replaces Perisic when he needs a rest or whatever. Tanganga, Sanchez.
When he played against Liverpool, he was grand.
Sorry?
When Tanganga played against Liverpool, I thought he's reformed himself. He's gone retro after that. He's rubbish.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, Sanchez, again, massive amount of hype around him. But he just hasn't pushed on, and the amount of money that we paid for him as well. Then again, I know this is not really a great excuse, but when you're playing next to someone like Dyer, he looks Dyer. When he's playing next to someone like Alderweireld or Vertonghen, he actually looked pretty good because they were both there to say, whoa, Davison, no, don't do that. Stay here. Yeah, because he seems to get a rush of blood to his head. And yesterday he looked a bit better. I mean, you never know. He might mature well. But what is he now, 26?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But Dyer's always got a couple of errors in every game he plays, and they're usually costly when he buggers up,
Well, that's the problem playing at centre back, isn't it? if you make an error, it usually is costly. Especially when you've got a goalkeeper who's been as flaky as Lloris has this season.
Exactly. Yeah.
Where was he, Lloris? Where was he? Because he wasn't on the bench either, was he?
No.
He was just rested, I think. Austin was on the bench, wasn't he? And I think he's just going to be another one of the what do you call it, conveyor belt of goalkeepers that is highly rated in the youth team, and then will be shipped out to a League One, League Two club.
Southend United.
Hopefully end up at a Championship club or a Premiership club, like what's his name, Adam Smith, and well, obviously he wasn't a goalkeeper, but one of the youth team players who actually does make it, and so yes, but overall, nice win.
Yeah. Great for the fans. There was something like 5,000 or 6,000 fans there.
Yes. Yeah.
6,000 were 3 times as many. You know, they made so much noise again. You know, I said it against Fulham the other night, and we all agreed on that. But and they had a lot of trouble getting there this week as well with the trains, apparently, with wherever the railway is up there. Like, you know, a lot of people. I
know that you're on Twitter a lot, Kev. Do you follow Douglas Bagley?
I know of him. Yeah.
Some of the stories that he puts up on Twitter is absolutely brilliant. It's like this time in 1994 we were playing Ipswich. Oh no, in 1984 we played Ipswich and we lost 3-0. The police and the stewards let us out 10 minutes before the end of the match, and we all charged into the home end. And it's like, okay,
I know a lot. I don't know him personally, but I know a lot of people that he knows and talks about. I know from the olden days. Yeah. From when we used to go together on the coaches, on European tours and everything. I know the crowd he hangs around with, like, you know. What
was the name of the guy who used to organise the coaches?
Well, there was a few. There was Roberts. What's his name? Oh, God, what's his name? I can see picture his face. He's a big lump of a lad. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember as well.
Kenny Roberts. Roberts. Yeah, right. Yeah, that was him. Yeah, God, his name escapes me at the moment. I can see him. I know him well because we used to go on the tours. But then there was another fellow called Tiny. He used to work for. He's a huge fella as well, and he used to work for Thomas Cook. And he started doing the tours. We used to have lovely posh ones with them. Like, he used to go on European tours with them. But Roberts was the fella. Yeah, they all know. Keith Roberts. That's it, Keith.
Yeah,
Keith Roberts. Yeah, I know him well. Yeah, he was one of the crowd in the early 70s. I know him that far back. When I first used to start going in the away games, used to get on his coaches. He'd do about 3 a game.
Wow. Yeah. That must have been a nice money maker, unless you smash.
Yeah, that's right. They earn their money doing all that, like freebies and whatever. Yeah. Then we had a fella called Herbie, another big bloke. He started doing coaches, but these coaches used to get there, but we'd never get back. we went where did we go? Swindon in the Cup in the 80s, and it broke down on the M4 about halfway between Swindon and Brentford, like, you know, and fortunately, there was a couple of Spurs lads driving past our coach. We were all standing at the side of the road, and it was a gown van, you know, like the old the rag trade vans. Double-length Mercedes van, you know, one of them long wheelbase ones. Yeah. He picked us all up, and we all got in the back. All of us. There were about 40 blokes in the back of this gown van, all sitting down and standing up and hanging, strap hanging. And and he took us back, and we all had a whip round, and he got a nice few £100 out of it. He was just him and his mate in the van, you know. Nice stroke of luck, because but that was the days, you know.
I do feel sorry that I missed out on those days.
That was the time they set light to the program stand. The Spurs fans set light to burnt down the program shack. You know, I think, I don't know. It's down the other end of the ground, so I don't know who done it, but you see all the flames and everything before the game.
Where was it?
There were Spurs fans burnt it down, you know. But
which ground?
At Swindon, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's at that same game. They burnt it down, yeah. A couple of my mates got thrown out of the Spurs end and frog marched off. It was one of them days, you know. Well, we all got back safe and sound, back to London, thanks to these two guys in the gown van in the rag trade.
That's the main thing.
Yeah.
Cheers, Haz. Nice to see you, mate. Thank you very much. If you want to join in, the link is on the comments. You're more than welcome. So next up, transfer news.
Yeah.
Porro. Now we've had what's his name, Fabrizio Romano, say, "Here we go."
Yeah.
So that usually means it's sort of 99% done.
Yeah.
Do you believe that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's always been reliable, Romano. It's just all over by the shouting, isn't it? So just dot the I's, cross the T's. Be announced probably Monday morning, tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
I watched the game last night.
Oh yeah. How'd he play?
Bloody good.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah. He's really strong. Reads the game well. Unlucky with a shot. He took a slight deflection, hit the crossbar from about 40 yards. That was a standing joke in the thread. But really strong. And he reads the game. He plays well. There was one point where he looked under pressure with the ball. I thought he's lost this. He's going to go. And he turned and tucked and span. And he got out of it. And I thought, wow, just class,
Yeah.
But that was a filthy game. It was a typical Latin game, one of them. They're just kicking up. I think there was 8 yellow cards and a sending off.
Paulinho.
I was frightened he was going to get kicked up in the air. He went down a couple of times holding his knee and that. And I thought, oh, gee, it's brutal stuff. It was like surreal. It was like typical Argentina, Uruguay derby or whatever. One of them ones, where they're just animals, just like it's crazy times, just kicking, pushing, shirt pulling a lot, They lost, of course, but at the end he was doing all the holding the badge and all that, and as if to say I'm leaving, but that was the body language. Yeah, a lot of it was made of that, the commentators kept mentioning Tottenham as well, and I couldn't, obviously not speaking Portuguese or Spanish, it was Portuguese, but I don't know what they're on about. Tottenham, all that, and I think they all know about it, so. Yeah.
Are you sure that Levy's not going to ask for a couple of cases of Superboc to be chucked in?
Yeah.
Probably.
I did hear about that stuff. So it's advertised on the back of the shirts, isn't it, Superboc? Yeah.
Oh, it's lovely. I'd say it's the nicest lager to come out of Portugal. Well, really? Was it Sagres as well, I think, is quite nice, but I haven't tried that. But Superboc is a really nice drink.
So I've heard, yeah. But yeah, it's a good game, and I think it's a done deal.
Yep. Yeah, so who's going to be on their way out then? Because do you think he's going to keep Emerson and Doherty? Well, Spence is probably going, from what I've heard.
I like to think, right, the plan is, right, Porro, right back, Romero in the middle, Dyer out, everybody else who we've added the right back, I'd maybe keep Doherty as a one backup.
Yeah.
But Royale out.
Spence as well.
Sessignon out. And then playing a 3-5-2, Ben Davies and Perisic, either both on at the same time, overlapping each other, covering each other. That's a defence sorted.
Yeah, well, we've also got that Udogi to come in as well, haven't we?
Yeah.
Who apparently is having an absolutely brilliant season in Italy. So that's going to be interesting. But if we've got Porro and Udogi, who are both, I think Udogi's 21 and Porro is, 25? Romero, who's 24 or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, well, I've heard a little bit about something else, which is probably not going to happen, but we'll move on to that in a minute. We do need to, because Davis ain't getting any younger. Dyer definitely ain't. Davis and Dyer I'd happily have as backup. I'm not sure that Dyer's ego would stand up to that. But we need to start bringing in some younger players. I know everybody says we need players for now, but we're not going to get players for now because Dr. Evil is not going to pay 60, 70 million for players for now. Going on to other transfer news, this Piero Hincapi from, was it Leipzig, I believe?
Leverkusen.
They've now slapped a 80 million euro transfer fee on him.
Ah.
So that's probably Mr. Levy going over there and saying, oh, yeah, well, that looks nice. Can I have that?
For 20.
That'd be agents. That'd be agents doing that.
Yeah, no, it could be. I read that on Twitter, so it's probably.
Yeah, I saw it on Twitter this morning.
Yeah, it's probably not true. But
last minute aggregator news. Yeah.
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 So what else is happening? That on Nahi, the Moroccan guy, he's gone to Marseille.
Is he?
Yeah. Zaniolo, haven't really heard an awful lot more about that. He's probably injured again. I heard what you said yesterday, Simon, about Gil to Sevilla.
Yeah.
Was that a loan or is that permanent?
Hang on, let me just check.
Okay. Kev, were you going to say something there?
I was going to say, I think there was whispers earlier in the transfer window about Maguire on a loan, but would you?
Yeah.
No.
Is he any better than Eric Dyer?
Yeah, that's true.
They both have a brain fart in them, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, we've had enough of them down the years. A shitstorm of brain farts.
Yeah. Who else is there? There's no one really new come up this week on the transfer side.
Unless Levy's got a special lined up, you know what I mean? One of them last minute things. It's a bargain basement job. You know, it's like
he's still living off that VDV transfer though, isn't he? So
yeah, that's what I mean. You know, yeah, boys, look what I found. Yeah. Go and work with that.
Who else was there? Oh yeah, there is another guy actually, a Marlo Gusto. Oh no, Chelsea has signed him.
Who haven't Chelsea signed?
Yeah, he really is. It's like he's playing championship or football manager, isn't it?
Yeah, I've got to move. That's better. I'm comfortable now. Yeah.
That's a nice top, Kev. Where'd you get that from?
I've had it years. I don't wear it very often. Yeah, it's lovely. It's black rather than blue, like, you know. But
and
I like it because of the...
That's the old
it's
cockle, isn't it?
Yeah, it's old, you know. It's got the THFC rather. I can't even... I'm doing the wrong bloody side. Look at me. Yeah, it's nice. I like it. I don't often wear it around here because I'm in Ireland. You know what I mean? Everyone wears Liverpool, Man United, or Arsenal, so I don't tend
Wasn't that many Gooners there? I didn't realise.
Yeah, it's all they're all TV Gooners. Most of them have been once in their life, you know.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay then. Now
I've been to the Emirates about 0 times. I've been to Highbury about 20 or 30 times. You know what I mean? So I'm more qualified to talk about Arsenal than they are.
I've been to the Emirates once. We lost 1-0. And at the time, I thought, this is actually quite a nice stadium.
Yeah.
And then, then I went to our new one, and it's like, wow, this is amazing. But okay then. Right. This is a swear word with most Tottenham fans, but he's popped up in the news again this week.
For God's sake. Are we not going to talk about this? Oh, for fuck's sake. Right. This prick, right? I mean, you can tell by like the photos in the Guardian, can't you? How's he look like, come on, man, do yourself a favour. Like, nobody actually gives a toss. You need to. You either apologise and say, look, I've done some stupid things, hold my hands up, and that gives you like a neutral level of respect, or you just disappear from public life, mate, because it ain't going to change just because you come out in a bloody newspaper once every 2 years and moan about it. What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah. We have another guest coming in now, first timer.
Yeah.
I'd like to welcome Haz.
Hey, you're right, mate.
Hello, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. You?
Afternoon, Haz.
Hey.
Very, very good.
How you doing? Yeah, I'm all right.
You're not shy, are you, like me?
No, not really. I've gone on a lot of shows, to be honest.
I haven't.
No, but I do actually watch your show like every morning, to be fair, on the weekends. Yeah.
Nice one. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, because you know what it is with Spurs shows, as in there's so many now. It's like I kind of just put them on in the background regardless of like who's on. But because your guys are in the morning, it's kind of like convenient because I'll get up and I'll just put it on.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, to be honest, we usually are quite good at background noise. So.
Oh, okay. I was just having my shake because I went to the gym and I came back. That's why.
Okay.
Like, give me a few minutes. Yeah. But
nice one.
On the Sol Campbell,
Yeah.
I have a funny story about that.
Okay.
So back in the day, you know his old agent Sky Andrews.
Yeah.
So I have a family friend he's not still friends with him now, I don't think, but he's a football agent, right? And he used to work with Sky Andrews.
Mhm.
So I actually met Sol Campbell in person the year before he left.
Yeah, funnily enough, so did I. I was with my old girlfriend
right.
at Wimbledon watching the tennis. She was a big fan,
Mm.
and we came out, and there he was. And as you do at Wimbledon, I'd had a few pimsies, and I called out, I shouted out Judas, and he looked at me, and then the security came over, and she was like, "Come on, we've got to go." But yes, that's definitely a claim to fame.
But this is before he left. No, I met him before he left.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay. Yeah. No, this
so
is
he was like telling us, "Oh, we stay and all this," and then obviously, he left.
So what was he like? Is he as arrogant as he is on the television, or do you think that's grown into him?
I was quite young when I met him, so
Okay.
I can't really say because he left in what year? Was it 01? Was it 01 or was it 02?
Yeah.
I can't remember. As I said yesterday, his last game for us was in the semi-final against Arsenal. And he limped off injured, and that was his last game. And I think then the deal was already done, and he just walked off. He wasn't interested in letting Spurs win, so his new team could win. And that sounds one of those conspiracy theories. I could tell by his body language the day he walked off, he wasn't really injured. He was just getting out of the game. He was finished with Spurs then. And it hadn't been announced and all that, but he was just finished, and that was it. He had no feeling for the club whatsoever. He knew he was walking away. That was it.
With him, the issue more is the fact that he told us he was going to go abroad. If he said, "Oh, I'm staying in England" or something, I don't know. But even then, going to Arsenal was like
you could live with that, couldn't you? You could live with going to any other club, but
even Chelsea.
Could he have gone to United?
Yeah, United, anybody?
United wanted him. Yeah. But is he a Tottenham boy? Was he born in Tottenham or
East London?
East London.
Yeah, I think he is. Yeah.
East London somewhere, but he was East Ham or something like that. Something down that way, Leytonstone, East Ham, somewhere over that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
I lived in Leighton for a couple of months, so I can understand why he's as fucked up as he is. Sorry.
Yeah.
But with him, I just don't understand how he himself doesn't understand how this is an issue still, because it's not like it's like if an Arsenal player came to Tottenham the way he did, say this is theoretically right, by the way, because it probably never happened. The same Martinelli's contract ended in this summer, and he shook Conte's hand like a few months ago, and he's like, "I'm coming," and then did a presser, and then he came like that. I don't think the Arsenal fans would be like, "Oh, I'll forgive Martinelli." They wouldn't. Well,
this is the thing. He never even apologized.
Yeah.
Is he that blind to see the rivalry between the two teams? And so he thinks, I can get a clean slate now. And as I said to Chris from Let's Talk Tottenham TV.
Oh yeah, I know Chris. Yeah.
It's just attention seeking. He just wants to be in the
limelight again. Yeah.
I actually want him to block me on Twitter, but I still haven't got the privilege yet.
I had a quick look. It's Plaistow he came from.
Oh, was it? Okay. Yeah. That's another
place. I feel like personally betrayed with that one, because obviously I met him in person before he left, and he was like, "I'm staying." I remember this as a kid. And but the only advantage was having knowing Sky Andrews was that he became Defoe's agent. So I actually have like 2 signed shirts from Defoe personally for me. Just because I knew his agent. I met his agent like a couple of times during that period. But yeah.
Bloody hell, Haz. I never realised you were so famous, mate.
Oh, no. Maybe I'll do a video one day and when I get to 1K or something, and I'll like show this sort of stuff off, because I have like assigned Kane boots that I won. He played like a charity game.
Okay.
And it's like Barclays will like retweet this tweet to like win Kane's shoes or something.
Yeah.
And I just somehow won it by a miracle. It was like
nice. Well, I was on a Spurs website where I first met Kev, Spurs community, and they had a competition. God, must have been a while.
Is that the ITK one or not?
Sorry?
Is that Spurs community ITK stuff?
Well, it's that's where Tricks and
the goat.
Yeah. But they had a competition, and it was to win a shirt with signed by a number of the 1960-61 double winning team.
Wow.
And I won that. And I've
that's amazing.
It's upstairs. I still haven't framed it or anything like that. It's still in the actual original envelope that it came in, because I didn't want to take it out because I thought something might happen to it.
It's worth a lot, probably.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought so. It's not people like Bobby Smith and Bill Brown and stuff like that. It's Peter Baker, and so it's more not the first team players. They were more the reserves. But I think it's Terry Dyson on there, so he definitely wasn't a reserve, and I think Cliff Jones as well. But yeah, that's definitely one of my most treasured possessions.
Well, you know, I also remember the old White Hart Lane. So as a kid, I would stay with my brother after the game, and they'd come out. Where was it? It was like there was these gates.
Yeah.
Next
to Rudolph's.
Yeah, maybe it was that. And they used to come out after the game.
Yeah.
And I have like a book signed by like players like Casey Keller.
Oh, right.
Players like that.
Why are you shaking your head, Kev? Wasn't it next to Rudolph's?
Yeah,
Rudolph's.
Next to Rudolph's. Oh, right.
I was too young to even
some
know.
bad women in there.
Point, so.
Every time I went into Rudolph's, my feet stuck to the floor. I don't think they ever mocked it.
I went there a few times on a Friday night and came home with women that I couldn't get rid of.
What?
One I spent 5 years with.
Oh, really? Oh,
Rudolph's.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move swiftly on.
Yeah. And then we used to wait, I remember, in the gates to the West End for the players to come in their cars, I remember.
Yes,
that's right.
Yeah. And we'd go really early. Because I was a kid, I was really excited about this sort of thing. So nowadays, I'd probably not want to see the players.
Oh, come on. You definitely want Emerson Royale's autograph.
Oh, yeah, of course, before he leaves.
You do a no-look autograph. Yeah.
Just one last thing on Sol Campbell. Do you know what the difference is? You know, obviously, Robbie Keane, when he left, I remember distinctly Robbie Keane saying, I'm not leaving my hearts with Tottenham and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I used to support Liverpool as a kid.
Yeah. 3 weeks later, he's gone, and it's like I was angry at the time, but I remember it being short-lived anger. I look at Robbie Keane now with a level of respect and what he's done for us and stuff. Yeah. And that's the same kind of thing. I know it's obviously left for a different club, but it's the same kind of thing. And you know, the difference is Sol Campbell. The difference is how Robbie Keane's conducted himself since he's left. Yeah. You know, it's not like he's been a twat on an attention-seeking, pathetic, sad individual like you. Do you know what I mean?
I can add something to that. He's not very well really liked in Ireland.
Really?
Yeah, because the Irish FA was run by a geezer called Delaney.
Yeah.
And he was the main man there. There's a lot of court cases going on at the moment. He was robbing the place blind. He was using it as his own spending spree. He was robbing money left, right, and centre and spending it all about and giving away free match tickets. He milked everything out, and he had the footballer's wife, even though he was nothing to do with the football side of it. Yeah. He had a footballer's wife girlfriend with the bust and the false teeth and everything else. He was spending all the FA's money, which should have been gone to grassroots stuff. And he got eventually found out by millions and millions and millions of pounds was missing.
Wow.
And Robbie Keane was part of that. And he was on down there for $5,000 a week. And up till recently, he was still getting that $5,000 a week as well, because it was contractual. Yeah. And there's still a court case going on. I'm going back 3 or 4 years of this now. Okay. And Robbie Keane's, so
I
he's
remember
not
that lady,
yeah, he's still copying $5,000. Well, up until recently, he's still copying $5,000 a week. But
I always preferred Defoe personally to the Keane, but that's just me.
But as a player, I loved him, you know.
Yeah.
Because do you guys remember there was always that argument between Keane and Defoe when they were both at the club?
That they couldn't play together.
Yeah, that was the whole thing. Yeah.
Chalk and cheese, Yes.
I prefer
Robbie Keane, that goal against Blackburn.
Oh yeah.
Where he took the ball down and then sort of he took it down and then pivoted and then smacked it in the top corner. That was, I think.
You know what I loved about Robbie Keane? His celebrations were the best, though.
Yes. Yeah. But am I hearing it right that I thought I heard something a little while ago? Defoe's back as a coach at Spurs.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Nice.
Under 21s, is it? Or under 18s?
I think it's under 18s. I think.
Is it under 18s? Okay, I thought he was just the shooting coach or something. You know,
The shooting coach.
But then again, Harry Kane probably. No, I won't say.
These are fellas that have done it, and for them to be back at the club teaching other people how to do it and all the tricks of the trade, you can't beat it. You can have all the coaches in the world, but if they haven't played at that highest level, it's a different step, a sideways step, or an upward step, or whatever. It's worth it.
Definitely. Yeah. Right, chaps. Now it's time for the free for all. Any other business?
I hope so.
Anyone want to say anything else? Good or bad?
Yeah, so I guess you guys are talking about Hincape. Yeah. Is that his name? Yeah. So I was on a stream with Danny yesterday. So before the news broke, he was telling us, because he knows people apparently at the club, that Spurs were going to go for him. And like half an hour later, 20 minutes into the stream, they released the Sun released the story saying it. So, but they want 80 million. I think you guys are discussing it, right?
Yes. We've heard about that. Yeah.
I just don't see it happening. What I would do if I was Tottenham, regardless, is go out and sign someone experienced, even for like a year or two, in the back line.
Yeah.
Just someone. It doesn't even have to be Skriniar. I'd even take Bonucci. I think Bonucci, I think, can't transfer at this point. I don't know. But someone like that, just go in the middle of the back three, just to lead us. Just for even. Do you remember we signed Naybet back?
Yes, I was just going to say. Experienced.
Someone like that, even.
Naybet and Ledley King.
Yeah.
I think Naybet taught Ledley King a lot.
Yeah. Something like that, even for like a year or something.
Yeah.
In January, it wouldn't be that expensive.
Yeah.
And just put someone in the middle of that back line. And you know the other rumors about Harry Maguire, right? Have you heard this?
Yeah, Kev just said that. I didn't hear about that. Is that a loan or is that
a loan? Yeah,
he's not getting in the Man United team, is he, at all? So it's frozen out.
I'm not really keen on that. I'd rather even someone like 33 just for like a year to take us to the summer, and then we can buy out and sign someone more senior, I guess. Like not more senior, more 26-year-old or something.
Yeah. Well, that's what I hear all the time, isn't it? Take us to the summer. But we've got 2 days left. I don't run the transfer window at Tottenham. If it was me, I would have tried to sign players on the 1st of January. But yeah.
But something like a Bonucci, or I don't know if De Vrij fits that mold. I haven't seen.
Is De Vrij available though?
So.
Is he going to cost a lot of money, or is he coming towards the end of his contract?
And I think he's near the end, because we always link with him because obviously he's in Milan.
Yeah, he's a bit like Leandro Diamo, isn't he? He seems to be linked with us for the last God knows how many transfer windows.
He was even linked with us under AVB, I think, even when Redknapp left.
Oh, AVB.
You know what? He reminds me of my university days, Damiel, because every time I would open BBC Sport, in the gossip column, and it'd be like, Damiel in talks with Tottenham, Damiel set to join Spurs. And I'd have friends on, I was like, oh, Damiel. And...
Did anyone actually see him play?
I watched him play once.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah, because obviously we were linked with him for so long. I had to watch him play at least one point. Because I think, did he play in the Olympics, I think, didn't he?
I don't know.
I might be wrong. I think he played in the Olympics or some tournament like that.
Yeah.
Or the Copa America. Maybe it was those two tournaments I watched him in. And I have to admit, I wasn't that impressed. I thought he was all right.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, because did he ever actually get a move to Europe?
Oh, let me check. I think he might have done.
Right. Okay.
You're right. Let me see. It's Damiel. I can't be able to search his name again.
Damiao.
Is it Benfica? Did he go Benfica?
Oh, was it Benfica? Okay.
Right. Let me check. Hold on.
So, Kev, Simon, any other business?
Real Betis, I've got here.
Real Betis, okay.
That's only European.
What you got, Simon?
Who do we want in the next round, the FA Cup? Draws tomorrow.
Tomorrow night, yeah. Soft one, please. I don't mind.
Yeah.
Man City at home.
Again.
You jinxed it now, haven't you? Yeah. Well,
On Wrexham playing today as well.
Yeah.
I just like them just to have Ryan Reynolds come to Spurs.
Would you now?
He's a Wrexham owner. So
Derby West Ham tomorrow night, isn't it? Yeah.
Right.
I'd love Wrexham to win.
Sheffield United today, I think.
Yeah. I'd love Wrexham to win just because it's the FA Cup and that's what it's all about, non-league, getting as far as they can and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Not for Ryan Reynolds, for fuck's sake. And
that's just...
So just a bit of breaking
Just
news.
imagine him
Tottenham
shaking
women are
hands with
1-0
Daniel
up.
Levy. That would be so weird, I think.
Yeah.
we won it.
Tottenham women are 1-0 up against London City Lionesses. I assume that's Millwall.
It's on BBC, I think, isn't it? I think I'm not
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, I tell you what, I watch Spurs women, and they've been so crap lately. It's unreal. Just really kind of like Ozzy Ardiles kind of era, kind of like playing. Do you know what I mean? Like it's true. Despite the fact that we've signed Beth England and
yeah, well, she scored.
Oh, she scored, did she? Ah,
Yes.
brilliant.
Yeah.
The new
And I would have
signing,
thought
you mean? Oh,
if London City Lionesses are Millwall, then they probably invaded the pitch by now.
I'll probably watch the Stevenage game, I must admit, just for shits and giggles.
What the hell is that kit Lionesses are wearing?
All right.
Jeez.
So
I don't even know what that is.
Did I tell you, Jens? My daughter Danielle, she's how old is she? She's 40. She's 40 this year, Danielle, and she went when she was 10 or 11. She played with the girl that was captain before, Scalacci. What's her name? Jen.
oh yes, Jenna Scalacci. Yeah.
Yeah, they played in the same team together. I knew her
Oh,
dad
okay.
because my son Paul, we were talking about the other night. He played with her brother in the team that's 2 years older, like, you know. So they were from Cheshunt, yeah. So.
9 minutes ago, Football Insider reporting that Spurs are laying the groundwork for Joe Bellingham, the 17-year-old younger brother of Jude Bellingham.
Oh.
Where's he? Is he Birmingham as well?
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I think he's supposed to be good.
Is he?
I mean, if he's good as his brother, then
Yeah.
Well,
Let's hope it's not like the Sessignons, eh?
oh god, please don't. Do you guys think he's worse than Emerson, or who's better? I don't know.
Emerson's better.
You think Emerson's better?
Emerson's got more confidence, I think. Sessignon has. I mean, when was the last time you saw him beat his man?
Never.
I've seen Emerson beat his man a couple of times over the last couple of weeks.
Me and Marlon were talking about this on his show last night because he does a post-match fan show. And he wants to try Sessignon in like the sort of like the front three somewhere as like a Devon type player. He says that's the last roll of the dice, but because obviously in that role he won't have to take on players just be on the end of things, if that makes sense.
Yeah. But isn't he a bit small for that?
Yeah, I just don't think I think we need to cut losses this summer. Just get rid of him. I didn't even want him in the first place.
I have to say, it kept me intrigued because it dragged out for so long, like it always does.
Apparently, we were watching him since he was 10. That's what I was told.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
But you look at his brother who's playing for Charlton, so he was higher rated, I heard, than than Ryan. So yeah.
Do you know what I hope? I hope that there's been a conversation, God knows how long ago, between Levy and Conte, where Conte's like, I want to clear out all this dross from the defence and right back and just all that, just clear them out. And Levy's gone, well, fine, find me a decent right back, and as soon as you get him, I'll clear him out. We've got Porro, and now I think the next step would be get rid of Tanganga, get rid of Sanchez, get rid of about half a dozen, and Dyer included, and just get rid of them. And it's just like Conte will be finally happy. I think that's one of the things that will keep him there, is that, right, I've got my signings. Now I can actually, I've already got, people already know the way that I'm playing. Now we can actually do it with decent players, and it will work, and we'll start bringing trophies in. Because I think that's what's frustrating Conte, and is probably the main reason he'll leave, is that if he doesn't get that, but hopefully Porro is one of the ones that he wants. And I think he is apparently, so yeah. We need. I think Conte is building that. I mean, I think in terms of it, it's not a master plan, is it? It's just like any manager will come in, look at our defence and our right back position, and think, well, that needs clearing out. Like again, Dyer included. But I think he wants to build another kind of Alderweireld Vertonghen situation with Romero in the centre there. So we need someone who's taller. He's got the height of Dyer and a little bit of experience, not as much experience. You don't need that as much experience to play the way Conte plays, but someone who complements Romero. So if anything, Romero should be in on any negotiations for, that centre back there, because he has to have that magic. I want that magic like we had with Vertonghen and Alderweireld.
Yeah.
And then he's already got options on the left hand side, hasn't he? So with Perisic and Longley's mediocre. I think he's a good backup player, but I wouldn't be sad either if he went tomorrow. To be honest, we've got the backups like Ben Davies and Perisic there. Perisic, I thought, did all right yesterday, and obviously provided a great assist for Son's goal.
Yeah.
And he's made himself useful. I don't think it's a permanent thing, but it's nice. The important thing there, I think, with Perisic is nice. It shows how versatile he can be. Because if you remember, as soon as the subs came on, he switched right back to the other side of the field, back in his usual left-hand side from playing up front. And that's fantastic. That's what you want, isn't it? Like,
utility man, yeah.
It's a shame that he's not 10 years younger.
Well, he ran all game, didn't he? So it's still, I know that can only carry on for a good couple of more years at the most, but that's the kind of player I think Conte wants. And so I think the left-hand side sorted. I think it's just the right-hand side. I think the left-hand side there, where you've got the overlap with, overlapping each other. Well, Perisic, let's say, covering for Ben Davies, who's, does really well, but there are players that you think of off the top of your head that can outrun Ben Davies pretty easily. Perisic provides that overlap for that. And, he can also, I think he might be the only decent crosser of a ball, Perisic.
Decent throws as well.
Yes.
Yeah, and decent throws. So I think it's just all we've got to worry about is clearing out the deadwood and getting the right ring. And I think Levy said to Conte, you're not having the clear out until we get the first pick, bought in.
No, I disagree with that. I think that Levy prices his players, the deadwood, far too high. That's why we can't get rid of him.
Really, yeah.
If you want to get rid of it, he has to look at it. Yeah, okay, we paid this amount to buy them, to bring them in. Yeah, and he always wants more than that, but he doesn't realise that you're saving on wages, and there's what's it called, amortization. Yeah, which means things go down in cost. So as you get older, you're not as expensive. He doesn't seem to be able to figure that out. I'm not having a pop with you, Simon. I'm just saying. I think he is.
Yeah.
He thinks he can buy something for 20p and get £2 for it after 5 years. Come on.
Just like buying a second-hand motor and then trying to sell it for the same price you bought it 5 years later.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's a wrecker now. It's it's a dumpster.
It used to work well for Del Boy.
Oh,
theoretically, you can do that, but you have to justify that cost. You have to justify that price tag. And you look at the players we've got, and you can't justify that.
Unfortunately, all these young players we signed, a lot of them haven't, as Levy would say, or Poch would say, fulfill their potential anyway. Like Sanchez, we bought him for a lot of money, and it was on the back of 1 year Ajax, which is a bit crazy if you think about it. And and he's obviously not going to be sold for 42 million, is he? He's going to go for like 10 probably. But the only way to get rid of these sorts of players, if you're that desperate, is you either do them sort of a Delhi type deal where he's got when he went to Everton, and you do stuff based on appearances and goals and clean sheets and like defenders cases, I guess, and stuff like that. Because if we're that desperate to get rid of them, or you try and use them in swap deals, which we are trying to do, and obviously that's how we got rid of Lamela. But it's very difficult. If you're not willing to budge on your price, and it's always been our issue. It's just, and I think with Tottenham, the different mentality between Spurs and say other clubs is that other clubs are prepared to take a loss on players if they didn't work out. But Spurs are always not, for some reason, they're not prepared to do that, and also they're always reluctant to still spend big afterwards because they're like, oh, I'm scarred from this one transfer that happened like 5 years ago. So therefore, we shouldn't spend big again. But it doesn't make any sense. It's just sometimes they just don't work out. Like Ndombele, everyone was excited when he came.
Yes,
but obviously, just hasn't worked out. It just hasn't. It's not meant to be, I guess.
But the swap deal, I think, is also quite difficult as well because you want to move your player onto this club. He doesn't want to go. And the same with
Like,
the other guy.
like Sanchez, they got linked with knees, but apparently he doesn't want to go. But
oh, really? Okay. Well,
he wants to stay at Tottenham, but I mean, I don't want him to stay.
I'm not sure many people do.
Yeah.
Right, chaps, we're just at the top of the hour, so I'm going to wrap this one up. Does anyone want to plug a channel or have anything any last things to say?
Well, yeah, I'm live in an hour and a half, so
okay, cool.
If anyone wants to come to my channel, just subscribe.
Yeah,
and yeah,
I'm going down the pub.
Yeah. And
what
I'm
about
live
you, Simon? You got any basketball on tonight?
No, not today. That's got another home game next weekend, but I'm working next Sunday, which is a bit of a bugger.
Are you not watching the game? Oh.
But I've got a new job, which means I don't work Sundays anymore. So you'd be pleased to know. So so after next Sunday, it's the last one. So
4:30 next Sunday, isn't it? Yeah.
4:30.
Yeah, it's a late kickoff.
Yeah. Are you going, Haz?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's fortunately or unfortunately, depends, I guess.
Yeah, certainly.
Don't be like that. We've got a good record against Man City. Let's not forget that. Come on.
We have.
It's true, but after the 4-2, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was a bit soul-destroying.
Kind of special for 2 minutes, wasn't it? So
it's a funny story.
No, especially for the 2 minutes, then the half-time break. It was only anything after that.
20 minutes.
I kind of blame myself. I kind of blame myself for that result because I kept saying I'm going to lose 4-2 when we're winning 2-0.
Oh, well, there you go then.
Come on, Az. Must try harder, mate.
But it's also because even when we're 2-0 up, because we watched it in a restaurant, it was like a load of us watching it.
Mm-hmm.
The first half we 2-0 up, but people still didn't really care. They were just like, oh, it doesn't matter. And by the time we got to the pub, it was 3-2 to City.
Ouch. Yeah.
So it's like, I kind of blame myself because I said that.
No, mate, you blame the 11 people on the pitch and the manager. So
I don't know, like, I don't know. Hang on.
He blames me now.
Is that Levy? No, don't spend any more money. We just need Haz to shut up. That's all it is. That's what the problem is. The save your money, man. Save your money.
Yeah. He's a Jonah, yeah.
But you know, with Spurs now, you know what it is? It's just, I don't really care about Champions League because even when we make the Champions League, we don't spend money. So I just want us to win the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Me too.
Whenever we finish, I don't really care. Just win the FA Cup.
Yeah. Well, they only want the Champions League for the money, don't they? It's not as if we're ever going to compete in it.
Because when I turned Levy out was in January 2012 when Saha and Nelson turned up because that was the last straw.
Oh, really? Yeah. Mine was actually the European Super League.
That was yours. Oh, right.
Thought he was doing pretty. I wouldn't say well, but he was doing okay till then. I wasn't very happy when Big Martin Yole was sacked, but I could see the reason that he did it.
Yeah, same with me. I wasn't Levy out at that point. Yeah.
But
my priority is the FA Cup as well, but I do value the Champions League not in terms of money, because that's why I value the FA Cup more than anything else. But in terms of getting players in, so we want to be able to say to potential new players, we're a Champions League team, because that's what they look at. You know, as long as we finish fourth and above in the league, or fifth or whatever, then it's fine by me. You don't get anything for winning the Premier League. It doesn't mean that you're the best in the league because at least one team has beaten you during that season. It's not like the Championship or League One where the mighty Wycombe Wanderers are. You get something for getting promoted. You get a whole new league. You get a lot more money, and you got a lot of prestige with it. And you move on. You don't move on by winning the Premier League. You just get a target on your back. That's all you get.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, it's always the FA Cup for me. That's proper football. That's what pure football should be about. Any team can beat anybody on their day. And we're seeing that already. Sheffield Wednesday against Newcastle. Fucking fantastic game that was. Recommend watching the highlights. And then
who won? Did Newcastle win or did they lose? I haven't seen it.
They lost that one, yeah.
They lost.
Yeah.
And then Wrexham beating Sheffield United 3-2 later on today.
I hope Wrexham win, just for Ryan Reynolds. Yeah.
Everybody forgets about the other guy, don't they?
I don't even know who he is.
See?
Can you imagine a Daniel Levy shaking Ryan Reynolds' hand? That'd be so like just brilliant to see a picture of that. I don't know.
All right then, chaps. Have a lovely rest of your Sunday, and hopefully catch you next
Come
Sunday.
on, you Spurs. Yeah.
Take care.
Come on, you Spurs.